So, non-duality. So you're sitting there, you think, and you're watching, you think, another person speak. So you think that you're sitting there with free will inside your body, and you had choice to walk up the stairs, to come here, to sit down and listen to somebody that's external to you and different. But this is only what you think. This isn't actually the experience. The experience is that nobody's sitting there. That there isn't anybody sitting there. The experience is everything. The experience is what's happening. The experience isn't that there's somebody sitting there. That's an imagination, that's a waking dream that's happening. That somebody's sitting there. That you might notice that the somebody that you imagine yourself to be is happening in past and future. It's not actually here. So if you imagine yourself, it's always something that's happened or gonna happen. So something that you've done or something that you're gonna be. Like if you try to imagine yourself here, that's even a weird thing because you're kind of pulling yourself out of your body and looking at yourself sitting there. It's not an actuality. Your experience is everything. And what I mean by everything is no thing. Your experience is this, which is undefinable, which you can't speak about, which you can't describe. Your experience is existence happening. And I'm going to jump around words so that we can all communicate, because that's not the traditional way in which it's spoken about. So traditionally it would be said that your experience is consciousness, or the experience is consciousness. There is consciousness happening. But actually when you really go into consciousness, consciousness isn't separate from everything. And you could simply say there is everything that is conscious, or there is everything. There isn't even something that's behind here that's conscious of everything. There is simply everything. When you really dive into experience, there is simply this happening. And this is unknowable, this is mysterious, but yet it's knowing itself. There is an awakeness that knows itself. And it's prior to thought. So there is a knowing of this table prior to you labeling it a table. There is a knowing of this prior to you labeling it as a blue sheet, or this as a flower, a yellow flower. It is simply known prior to your description of it. But as humans, we're so lost in our description of things that we believe that to be a reality. We believe that to be truth. We believe, we're so hypnotized by thought that we're sitting here listening to someone called Lisa speak, and that Lisa came from time. And we believe that to be reality, whereas that's got nothing to do with what's actually happening here. This is your description that you've been taught. These are words that you learnt. You didn't know that when you were 1 or 2 years old, but yet there was still life happening. You didn't know, okay, I'm a baby, I came out of mummy's belly, I'm now 1.5 years old, I'm white, I'm British, and my mummy is not a very nice mummy because she is this or she's that, or my mummy is very nice sometimes. Like, we didn't know that, we simply were. There was simply innocence. We didn't even know the name that we'd been given. We simply were. It was happening. And then we began to learn this as we got older. And we began to add more and more things onto who we are. Like we first of all start with a name. We're like, oh, I'm called Lisa. Okay, here we go. I'm Lisa. I am Lisa. Hello. And then we go to school and we're taught we're either intelligent or stupid. And we're like, I am very stupid. oh, there's a disaster. I want to be the intelligent one. And then we're taught we are white. I am white. I am not Indian. Okay. I am rich. I am blonde. Well, I am all these things. I am a good child. I am very good. Okay, I'm also a bad child. All these things that we own. And then we get older and older and we own more and more things. We own if we're good looking or we're not good looking, if we're sexy or funny or all these different things. And then we sort of make all these strategies. We live by all these strategies of who we think we are, and we own it, and we think this is reality. That I am really this person that's happy or sad or good or bad or intelligent or stupid or ugly or pretty. And we believe we're all this, and we interact with others in this way, and we're always making strategies, and we're always trying to win these strategies, and we're always trying to find our pleasure or pain through these stories we tell ourselves. And we forget the most important thing to existence, that who we actually are is what's happening. Who we actually are is this moment, and this moment is everything. This moment is safety, this moment is freedom. This moment is who we are. It never leaves us, no matter where we run to. We're always in this moment. We can run and we can be on top of the hill, below the hill, in Europe, here. We could be super rich or super poor, and there's always this. No matter where we run to, we can't switch it off. We can never be like, boop, we switch this off, back on again. We're always in the moment, even if our eyes are shut, or we're meditating and having bliss and ecstasy, or we're having sex and we're having the most amazing orgasm. We're still in this. And we begin to possess all these bizarre ideas like, okay, so what we need in this is we need like the constant state of orgasm, that constant high pleasure. So then we're here and we're imagining this better this. We're imagining all these types of things and we're trying to hold on to it. Like we're like, okay, we want permanent state of bliss, but we can't hold on to anything because what we are is something that is and is always changing and moving. And we develop all this suffering around trying to maintain a pleasurable state and avoid painful states, to maintain a pleasurable sense of self and to avoid a negative sense of self. Like we don't want to be seen as bad or stupid, ugly. We want to only be seen as these pleasurable things. And that's okay. That's okay. That's human. But it's a disaster when you believe that's who you are. Because it becomes so personal. It's like you're always trying to hold together this person and you're always seeking to be the best person you can because you believe that when you achieve the best person you can, you'll be able to relax, you'll be at home. But you can never get there because that's always changing. Like your sense of self is always changing, the world is always changing, so it's never a permanent thing. Whenever you think you've arrived, then there'll be the next moment and the next moment. It's like a never-ending game that's exhausting. It can be fun, but it's also exhausting because you can't arrive. You can never arrive in this world. As soon as you arrive, something changes and you're like, oh, no, hang on, no, I'll stay. Oh. It always changes. But what doesn't change is who you are. What remains the same is existence. And this is the freedom, remembering this. That no matter where you go, no matter what happens, no matter what situation, there is a freedom beyond you. It's who you are. It's who you truly are. The character is something for this life, but who you truly are is beyond that. And that realization helps not take the person so personally. And it stops this seeking game of always trying to find freedom in the future. always trying to find that rest in the future. You're never going to find it in the future. The future never exists. It's an endless mind game of imagining this moment that you arrive, that when you get this, when you get that, when you do this, when you behave like that, when you have these certain emotions, that you will arrive there. And that's never going to work. It's like, it would be like being set up to try to catch a rainbow in a jar or something, or try to catch a light in a jar. It's an endless game that cannot work out for you, because everything in life is moving, always, because nothing is a thing. Like, there is no solid things. There is this constant movement of things. Like, there is no solid thing. This flower doesn't eternally stay a flower. It transforms. It's continuously transforming, even with what seems like the most permanent thing, like the table or the chair or the floor or stone or mountains. They are always moving into something else. So if you try to find freedom in the personal self, you're always going to be disappointed, because it's moving and everything else is moving. And the freedom is what always remains. What remains?